With the competition on a knife edge, there's one man we turn to for all the answers. Damien Barrett will have all the latest COVID news. And joining Damo, Nine football reporter Alicia Muelling live on the Gold Coast. Meanwhile, if the siren sounds in an empty MCG for a drawn game, does anyone hear it? That's the question we're asking this morning after the Hawks and D's couldn't be split. Tom Mitchell joins us live to help analyse that clash. Stewie's spirited Suns gave the Doggies a fright, but Bevo's boys got the last bark, grinding out a victory and sealed with a kiss. And some shocking set shots set the tone for a thriller at Marvel, with Port powering home late over the Saints. Coach Ken Hinkley joins us live to look at their run to September. The six-pack from Jack in Game 300 torpedoes the Tigers back into the 8. But a punt road champion is done and dusted. We'll have the latest on that injury. While four majors from Tomahawk had the Cats purring to a percentage-boosting win after a shocker from the Dockers. So sit back for the next 2 hours. We've got it all. Brownie's quiz is back. The volcano's bubbling away. Billy's list is almost done. And Lordo's deep dive is ready to rumble. It's the all-powerful, the all-conquering Sunday Footy Show.
Oh, I tell you what, Damo is just ready and rare. This is where you come in. Just rebrand it the Damien Barrett Show.
He lives for this.
Sorry?
He lives for this.
Yeah, he does. He does. We'll get to you in a moment.
Typewriter going all night.
But, of course, over the border, I can't work out whether you've put us in exile or we've put you in exile, but Kane Corns is in South Australia. G'day, Kano.
Well, I don't think it was our fault, the South Australians, this time, TJ. I think we can blame those removalists this time, unfortunately. So not our fault. Hey, it is tough times, but I'm told the all-time what caught my eye today, so looking forward to that. Strap yourselves in.
What, you've got it, or because Billy's laying claim to that one?
Collectively.
Right, OK, well, it hasn't got much to beat on the back of last week. And on the Gold Coast, live from 9 News, football reporter Alicia Muelling, who's going to be with us for the early part of the show at least. Hello, Alicia.
G'day, Tony. G'day, guys. Great to be with you. Horrible here, as you can see.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I can understand why Victorians would want to flee up there at the moment. All right, Alicia, we'll come back to you in a tick for all the latest on the goings-on the Gold Coast. Billy Brownless is here. Hello, William.
Tone, another lockdown. I tell you what, I've had more lockdowns this year than relationships. Just had enough. Just had enough, Tony.
Well, both are in isolation, too, let me tell you. Damien Barrett is here. Damien, you have been working your phone, haven't you?
Well, not as much as Alicia. Alicia broke several exclusives yesterday up there at the Gold Coast, and it's great that we'll get to her pretty soon to tell us the latest what's going on with this season, which is becoming more and more problematic to complete.
Matthew Lloyd's here to add a little bit of charm to the program as well.
What about his strut and head wobble off the opener there? You've come to play. You're a bit like, I don't know, Mark Jacko Jackson this morning, in a way, that bit of head wobble just sticking to the man this morning.
Damn, you produced that, mate. Very happy with yourself.
But just on the on-field, TJ, no teams can consolidate the bottom part of the 8, and at the top, every week it changes who your best side in the competition would be. As it sits this morning, or in Geelong and the Western Bulldogs would be the teams you're most confident in at the moment.
We dropped off the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble the last couple of weeks, yeah.
Right, OK. Speaking of which, Nathan Brown's here. How are you?
Good, TJ, guys. So excited during the week to receive a call from you. As we know, we went into lockdown Thursday.
Here we go.
But earlier on in the week, he rang me and he said, do you want to come down to my holiday house? I said, no, I can't. We've been talking about how good it'd be to go down there. I thought, how good's this? Might go down and make some pens with TJ or something like that.
Go fishing.
And he gave me, go fishing off the pier, and he gave me the address, but he didn't give me the number. So I texted him. I said, you know, what's the number?
This better be good.
He goes, don't worry, you'll know it when you see it when you drive down the street. And here it was, TJ's holiday house.
That's actually not bad by you. Oh, dear. All right, let's take a look at the results and the ladder from this round of football so far before we try to work out what happens beyond this.
Geelong smashed the Fremantle Dockers way back on Thursday night. Richmond, what a win that was. Jack Rywott kicked 6 in his 300th, and Port Adelaide Kane. It was a good win considering their outs.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to that. The Western Bulldogs did what they needed to do against a really good Gold Coast. They've been strong the last 3 weeks. And what about that stunning result last night? One of the most surprises that we've had this year with the draw at the MCG.
The Demons are half a game in front at the moment, and there's a logjam 3rd, 4th, 5th at the moment. Brisbane dropped 1, but the biggest logjam is from 7th all the way down to 12th at Essendon. So at the moment there are so many clubs that can make the 8, so that means it's a very good season. There's so many machinations that go into this, but at the moment it's huge.
All right, Damo, let's talk it. COVID and the competition.
Yeah, as we speak, TJ, there's 49 matches remaining of this home and away season. The 4 remaining in round 18 and the final 5 rounds. And as happened last year, it's a concept now of just getting the games away. They may not necessarily appear in the order that they are fixtured to be, and even as early as next week, there could be some games brought forward from round 20 into round 19. So particularly the Brisbane Lions Gold Coast game, they're meant to be playing in round 20. That could easily be brought to round 19. That would then have ramifications for obviously the opponents that they were meant to play in round 19, and that's how it looks at the moment. And even that Port Adelaide Collingwood game on that Friday night, special exemption will still be sought and hopefully given for Collingwood to be able to fly in and out of Adelaide without breaching any major COVID requirement on the state of South Australia. But mindset now just to get the games away as best the AFL can, with full steam ahead as we speak.
So that there, round 20, for example, yep. Collingwood and West Coast Eagles, as it stands at the moment, they'd battle for that to go ahead, wouldn't they?
Collingwood will be West Coast Eagles. Look, I haven't even looked forward to that Sunday.
To get the Eagles wouldn't want to be coming over to Victoria.
Yeah, you may not. Look, what I believe has happened overnight, TJ, is a focus now on just even the Melbourne games as they are scheduled to be played, to just play them without crowds, obviously, given the current lockdown status of this state. And last year there was a matter of getting some games in front of crowds as a priority. Now it's just get the games away, however that comes, and that will impact already on round 19.
OK, as we said, Alicia Muling is live on the Gold Coast for us, has been up there for 9 News. Alicia, who's up there in an AFL sense and how long will they stay there for? I mean, what I'm getting at is, are we going to see another one of those hubs?
Well, it doesn't seem that way, Tony. It might seem unusual to everyone back home in Victoria, but most clubs have already left the Sunshine State, or at least planning to leave. So we saw Richmond leave from Brisbane yesterday morning, albeit without Dustin Martin. We saw the Bulldogs leave after their win over the Suns late last night. Still unsure as to where North Melbourne will be after their match against Essendon. Of course, they play the Blues and then Geelong in Tasmania. The only real certainty, I guess, is Essendon. So after their match this afternoon, then they've got both the Giants and the Swans up here. So they'll be up here for at least 3 weeks. And then, of course, the Sydney teams, well, they're going to be based here until the end of the season. And we've got an update on families hoping to reunite with both those clubs. At this stage, we believe that transitional hub will be based here in Queensland. Hopefully it will be announced later next week. But still some really complex discussions going on between the league and the government here in Queensland. And then the other kind of complicating factor, I guess, Tony, was yesterday it emerged that 8 clubs had been caught up in Tier 1, 2 and 3 exposure sites. That rugby match on Tuesday, a real problem for the league, and it's come out this morning. The state government has announced there has been another Tier 1 exposure site at that match. It's Gate 7, so we're still unsure as to if there are any clubs that have been caught up in that Tier 1 site at Gate 7 last Tuesday, Tony.
OK, Alicia, all right, thanks for that. That sums it up beautifully there. So we will come back to you, Alicia, if we can, for an update on Dusty. I know that you've got plenty of information there for us as well. So, well, just enjoy that sunshine while you can, and we'll just continue because...
I was just going to say, Alicia touched on the Bombers for the next 3 weeks. They're saying there's accommodation issues up there too, because the NRL have had to move their competition up there. So there was talk that the Bombers may have to move to Noosa for 3 weeks to try and get, they might play at the Gabba some games, Metricon, just because of the issues with accommodation with a lot of other clubs up there from NRL as well.
I know it's really early to be talking about the grand final, but it's not essentially, because it is creeping up, and whilst there's no sign of our lockdown finishing at the moment, and Kane, I'd be keen to hear from you also what Adelaide's saying about potentially pouncing on the main game, but when you come out of lockdown, as you know, you don't just sort of reset to what you were prior to lockdown. So, sort of 1 step forward, 2 steps back in a lot of ways. What are you hearing about the grand final?
The line on that is it will be at the MCG. No one in official capacity is going to be deviating off that line until they absolutely have to. When that time frame is, I would feel it's within a month at the latest. So
before the final start?
I think you have to, Brownie. Yeah. If you're going to organise the biggest event on the AFL calendar, sometimes it's 18 months in the making in terms of some of the entertainment required. You're going to need at least 4 weeks runway to prepare for that, no matter where it is. But how it looks and who knows. But the official line will be that it will be at the MCG. Kane, the latest from your state's perspective, to me, it has loomed in front of WA as the most viable alternative.
Yeah, South Australia are out, Damo. They haven't been helpful at all for the AFL throughout the last 18 months. They haven't been willing to bend any sort of rule. So I wouldn't think Adelaide Oval is in the equation. It would be Optus Stadium. I wonder, and I ask you the question, what the capacity issue is. So if it's a 50% at the MCG for a grand final, is that the minimum baseline or is it 40? What do you get the feel that would be? I doubt it would be full.
Yeah.
What's the cut-off?
Look, I would think a 50% capacity at a 100,000 stadium is not enough. It doesn't cut it. That's just my view on it. But as I said, we're speculating, obviously, but the competition and the clubs and the industry is doing the same thing. It's just that they're not going to be seeking any headlines for at least 3 weeks around the venue of the grand final.
So South Australia, unhelpful. Western Australia, very unhelpful.
Yeah.
If he actually opened the borders, could we go to WA? Old mate over there?
We could, but we had a situation only 4 Sundays ago, where a full house was about to attend a game of football there, and at short notice, 2 hours' notice, it was said no crowd at all. So
but
that's
prior to that,
in the back of people's minds.
They did sell out the Essendon and Richmond game in 12 minutes.
They did.
They did.
Full house.
Yeah.
They did. But things changed, and it changed on that Sunday morning in question, and that Premier, Mark McGowan, obviously chose to make that decision on that day. And it's in the backs of minds that could happen even in a grand final scenario.
But Kane, you talk about them being a bit on the nose because they were unhelpful, but surely you've got to put all that aside. I mean, if you're Gil McLachlan and the Commission, you've got to sort of say, OK, well, we don't necessarily like you, but we do like what you actually put on. And the Adelaide Oval would be a fantastic... It would be absolutely sensational.
It would be brilliant, TJ, but the South Australian government are unhelpful and they've proven that to be the case. So, yes, Gil and McLachlan would love to have that conversation, but Stephen Marshall and Nicholas Spurrier over here, the Public Health Officer and Chief Health Officer, just doesn't want to hear that. So they're very strict in their ways. I doubt whether that conversation will even get to a point where it becomes any bit serious.
And so just as we speak, and as we know, everything we talk about and discuss when it comes to COVID can change in a matter of hours at times. But as we speak, the intent is to get the remaining 49 home and away matches out of the way, to not have a reset and even bringing forward the post-round 23 bye to next weekend. That was mooted by some clubs over the course of the weekend, quite strongly in some quarters. But no, it's full steam ahead as best they can with different matches to the way they appear on fixturing for rounds 19 and 20.
Should we scrap the bye?
Shouldn't have it anyway.
While we can play games, we should just play them. Even if we play the grand final a week earlier, keep playing games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a possibility, Lottie. I did ask a specific question about that bye, and no one at this stage can say it would stay there.
Hey, let's talk a little bit of football. Football that is actually happening at the moment. There was a time, you might remember, more than 20 years ago, when Hawthorn and Melbourne were going to be as one, and last night they couldn't be split.
No, they couldn't. All tied up at the end there. We'll see Luke Bruce kick a goal to tie it up towards the end of the game. A good draw, if you can have a good draw by Hawthorn, because they were trailing by 26 points at one stage there late in the second quarter. Here it is here. You can see here, 49 seconds. Bruce just perfect.
He's good with Bruce, didn't he?
Can you believe this is the first draw between these two clubs?
Yep.
The first draw ever between these two clubs. 2 points each. Eerie feeling at the end, always is when it's a draw, but no crowd there also didn't help. I don't know, do we talk about having a shoot-off after the siren?
Well, we will at some point.
Righto.
I reckon
Probably should do it
on the
now.
rundown.
OK. Well, seeing we're at there, I mean, do you think we should scrap draws?
I'm happy with a draw. 2 points each. I'm old-fashioned.
In 2021, I think we need a win or a loss. It's a win-loss industry. I think after 2.5 hours, we need one.
Well, I've celebrated the draw before, TJ, and once upon a time, I loved the draw. That's how I celebrated it. But I'm pretty keen on seeing a penalty shootout. I saw the Euros the other night, and I've put together my top 5 players who I think I would like to take a clutch penalty, 40 metres out. McDonald, Tipperwoody at number 1. Toby Green, probably not the technically best kick in that lineup. Gary Rowan's done it before. Zach Toohey, and also Liam Ryan. So do your own at home, play along.
Liam Ryan.
Very good kick.
Now, for what it's worth, I would say just leave the game alone, right? All you blokes, you just want to go and tinker and change for the sake of change.
It's called innovation.
Just leave it. It's been fine for more than 100. It's not called innovation. It's called just changing for change's sake.
Yes, Tony.
I disagree, TJ. Like grand final day, 5 minutes each end for me. But in terms of Melbourne, all right, the 2 points they gave up, all teams trained for situations, and they were up by a goal with 2 minutes to go. And I don't think they handled the last 2 minutes as well as they could. Let's start with Clayton Oliver. So you've got to this. 2 minutes to go on the clock. Player there, player there. Why wouldn't you control possession rather than kick to a central contest? So that's one mistake, in my opinion, that they made. Here, they win the ball back. So there's Jake Lever, 1:34 to go. He says, hold, but Steve May had pushed out to the boundary line. You see him go past, you see Petty saying, kick it to him. No, he kicks to a contest. So in my opinion, that's another mistake from Melbourne. So then we talk about the panic. Trent Rivers, why did you blast the ball when you could have kicked to a play here nice and short with 1:02 to go on the clock? So in my opinion, there's 3 mistakes Melbourne made, which they would have trained for at Casey Fields. And then this is what happens, Bill, with 49 seconds to go. Because they kept panicking, they didn't control possession, they end up with 2 points instead of 4.
So let's talk about how good Hawthorn were. When you look at their injury list, basically their starting 6 defenders were out. And you look at the names, Day, Impey, Sicily, Scrimshaw and Hardwick. This was a phenomenal performance. And I reckon it was on the back of just genuine effort. You line these 2 teams up pound for pound, and there's no way you would give Hawthorn a shot. But their ability to get the ball on the ground, I reckon Melbourne, if they've got one area that there's a weakness, it is this. So when the ball hits the deck in their defensive 50, May and Lever and Petty aren't as agile and nimble as they are in the air, which has been their real strength. So Hawthorn plus 23 in tackles, and the second opportunities they got, just by bringing it to ground, is a lesson for other teams coming up against Melbourne in the finals.
Spot on, Kane, and speak of effort there by the Hawks. Clarko's still going all right, so it just makes you wonder why you'd want to get rid of him.
He's probably coaching as well as ever.
Oh,
isn't
no,
he?
he's
I mean,
fantastic.
prior to
With that game yesterday,
yeah,
because they didn't deserve to
They
win.
got belted though. Like, we have short memories. They got belted by Freo last week. And they're 17th on the
But
ladder.
he's still coaching well.
Yeah, he's a
Clarko.
good coach.
previous 4 weeks were pretty good before that last week.
But there comes a time for everyone. And whenever they go okay, we all just jump straight back onto how good Clarko is. You know, and then when they get belted, no one says he's
not a fan of Clarko.
No, I just understand there comes a time.
He hasn't got a back line at the moment, Lord.
What's that?
He hasn't got a back line.
No, he hasn't, and he does coach very well.
A lot of kids there.
He just brought down the ladder leading team.
A lot of kids.
Yeah. He just brought down the ladder leading
I know
team.
he did.
In fact, I would say he's done some stuff last night that other clubs
But
will
I could say to you,
embrace.
Fremantle were terrible Thursday night, and yet they dismantled Hawthorn the weekend.
He single-handedly do it though, Damo. It was a collective effort by the players and also the other coaches.
That's the problem. It's always Clarko when they go well, and it's the players' fault.
It's the same thing at Melbourne. When everything was going well, it was all about other coaches, but when it's going poorly, it was all about Simon Goodwin. So I don't think Simon Goodwin got the accolades he should have so far this year.
Either way, he was really proud with what he delivered last night and his team.
Whether we won or lost wasn't really the equation for us tonight. It was just getting the exposure and competing. And I thought, we're really proud of our lads tonight. The disappointing part, I suppose, we have over 80 tackles and only 3 holding the ball. You know, it's just like we just didn't get rewarded for our super effort in that space. You know, we would have liked to think with the effort that we applied in terms of our tackling and endeavour, we would have got a little bit more reward on some of the free kicks.
Yeah, but don't you reckon after 18 months of Zoom interviews, we could actually get it right at some point? We can get the framing right. Hey, Kane, you'll be thrilled to know that Tom Mitchell's going to join us to reflect on that game a little later on.
Yeah, I was critical of his game last week. I thought he was ineffective, but 22 kicks, most metres gained on the ground, and high pressure. I thought he was terrific. So looking forward to asking him how he dissected his game last week.
And you'll be thrilled to know also Ken Hinkley is going to join us on the program. Another one on your dartboard?
No, not at all. Not at all. Tell us about this, Bill.
Oh, it was good. A very good win by Port Adelaide because it looked like St Kilda might win this game. But, gee, they had a lot of injuries, Kane, haven't they? They've got plenty of injuries. They've got their young stars. They're all out injured. And I thought this was a good win in the end here. Charlie Dixon does kick a goal coming up here very shortly. That was a good mark by Maisie, who we hadn't seen all day. Took a couple. Have a look at Charlie waltz around here. Poor old Dougal's like the witches that come on, dudes. What are you doing? But pretty good win. Oh, they'd be happy with that, Kane.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was their best win of the year. Yes, they haven't beaten those top echelon sides, but the Saints have been in good form. And when you look at the players that they had out, speak about Hawthorn's injuries. What about Port's small forwards? Butters, Fantasia, Farrell, Motlop, Rosie, Gray. There's 6 or 7 of your starting forward line. So He put aim on forward, was good. He experimented with Darcy Byrne-Jones forward. Terrific win, Port Adelaide's best of the year.
I was at the game and I felt that they had all the run late. St Kilda, they had 10 more inside 50s. They were starting to hit the scoreboard hard, and then they just started to turn the footy over at crucial times. So look at the time clock there. There's 10 minutes to go. They were up by a point, and Brad Hill, who played a good game, just made some poor errors. So there was one. So now scores a level, turnover. So they just were their own worst enemy yesterday, St Kilda, in a game they should have won. Look at this one. Jimmy Webster, another one who played a good game. Bad turnovers, panicked at the wrong times. This one, it's a lazy kick from Sinclair over the top. And then this one, draw the man. You've got Bradley Hill who's ran for you. Give him a handball over the top. He kicks the goal. And just a terrible decision as well by Butler.
They sure did butcher it late, Lordo. Sometimes you watch a young player and he might have played 30, 40 games. You're not really sure if he's going to make it. I saw a fourth game yesterday, Leo Connolly, and you just saw a couple of things that you know this kid's going to make it. Have a look at that in the last quarter on the opposite side. Now, this kid, I haven't seen a lot of him, but not long after that, under pressure, we just watched some senior players turn the footy over.
Leo.
Just 2 times he got the ball in the last quarter. Didn't have a lot of the football, 4 games in, but I'm going to keep an eye on him.
What's his background? Where's he from?
Looks like a footballer.
No, but where's he from?
Not really sure.
Billy's boy. Billy Connolly.
Oh, Billy, please. Look, really, you should be volcanoed on the back of that. But, Kane, I think you've got another one in its place.
Yeah, I do, TJ. So I'm going to volcano the industry. I'm going to talk about the coaches, the umpires and us in the media, because we don't recognise players that don't play in the midfield. I want to take a look at the coaches' votes this year so far. I think it's the award that carries the most weight in terms of accuracy. There's one player that's not a midfielder basically on this list, and that's Max Gawn. Then we're going to look at the last 10 Brownlow medal winners. They're all midfielders, the last 10. So unless you're a midfielder, you can't win the Brownlow medal. You're basically ineligible for winning it. And I think we need to recognise the key defenders, the running half-backs, the ruckman in our game. And we've got the opportunity to do that now. So Mitch Georgiades is the favourite for the Rising Star in my view now. He's kicked 27 goals. He's the second leading goal scorer on a top 4 side. He probably kicks 35 to 40 for the year. And we need to recognise other players that don't play in the midfield. I think those selectors have a great opportunity to do that. He kicked 4 yesterday. He's 19 years of age. He's terrific. So let's start recognising the non-midfielders of our game.
All right, Kane, is that a fair
Well,
point?
I think Treaders wants some of Kane's best and fairest.
Oh, yes.
He won 4.
Yeah.
Luke Jackson will be hard to beat as a
Kane.
forward as well. Luke Jackson's played some pretty good football this year as well as a forward.
Now,
Yeah,
the Gold
so they're
Coast
in the mix.
Suns. Are we liking what we're seeing lately about the Gold Coast Suns? I mean, they're just sort of showing a little bit, aren't they?
Their last 3 weeks has been much better. Just beaten by a better side in the Western Bulldogs yesterday. And Jamara Ugahagen, I was pleased because he wasn't great in his first game, TJ, but yesterday he was outstanding. You know, he didn't have a heap of the footy, but his kicking was always questionable as a junior. But he looks like he's done a lot of work on it, and he kicked 3 important goals in a hot game yesterday.
That's his first goal. First goal for the Dogs, of course, in his second game. Took 5 marks. He's looking a lot better, but that was a lovely goal there. Kick one around the corner also. So well done, Jamara.
And you've got to say well done to the match committee too for actually sticking with him at a time when they could have said, just another couple of weeks in the Rezzies and we'll see how he goes then.
Do you think they'll persevere? It's a point of difference having him there alongside Bruce and Norton.
Yeah, Steph Martin will be back in the side, so then someone has to go. And I think he's probably the most likely, unfortunately, to go come finals time.
OK, to another of Nate's old teams now. Richmond, they got the job done on Friday night.
They did, and the question from Chris Fagan to his players would be, did we work hard enough in the third quarter when Richmond came to play in this third quarter? Let's have a look at some of the running results. Have a look at Jack Graham get the ball at half-back. Now, he is a gut runner. Now, he's there with McCluggage, probably even keel there. He runs, and he runs past McCluggage. Not only that, he runs past Daniel Rich. Daniel Rich can't go with him. He gets this ball inside forward 50. They don't kick a goal out of this, but that is just big running. Now, this one. Have a look at all the players here zoning nowhere and nobody back here. Oscar McInerney's wondering whether I go to Nank up there. All his players didn't fold back, and that's what happens when you don't look around and you're not working as a team. This one, now there's a moment here where you both think you're going to get the ball. It's probably there, but now you've got to say McCluggy's going to get this. Though Dane Zorgo, what do I need to do? I need to shepherd, and he didn't do either, and that should have been a goal. This one, these are 2 Brownlow medalists right here, Dustin Martin and Lachie Neale. And you tell me Lachie Neale started running hard, but I thought Dustin Martin just finished the job and went a little bit harder. I I reckon Lachie Neale's given up right there at the back. He's 10 metres off him when they started together. Jack Rywott kicks a goal. This happened the whole third quarter. Another one. A free kick was paid here, but Lachie Neale, his reaction there, he didn't want that ball as much as what Dustin Martin did. And then to finish off, Jack Graham again, he got it going, gets it out of the middle. He has to run past 3 Brisbane midfielders to get on the end of this kick from Arts. And then you see Lachie Neale with his arms in the air going, where are we? Well, we weren't anywhere because we didn't run hard as what the Tigers did.
So you're saying it's as much about attitude as their personality?
That third quarter was. Yeah, they were up at half-time and then they kicked the first goal of the third quarter, and I reckon they decided that they didn't need to work as hard as what the Tigers did.
Well, as we know, it did come at a huge cost for the Tigers. Alicia Muling joins us live again from the Gold Coast. Alicia, you were there on Friday night and you saw Dusty go into the rooms, and as we know now, he's in hospital.
He is, Tony. So he's spent a second night in hospital here on the Gold Coast. According to Richmond club doctors, he's in really good spirits, he's stable, but it of course is a really significant and a really delicate injury, and we can cast our mind back to 2006 when Tom Lonigan from Geelong actually had to have one of his kidneys removed for a similar injury. So the club is hopeful that he'll be out of hospital in a couple of days, but yeah, certainly a huge blow for Richmond and heartbreak for Dusty.
Yeah, all right, Alicia, thanks very much for that, and we'll see your report on 9 News tonight.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you, Alicia Muling, joining us there live from the Gold Coast. Can Richmond, I mean, we don't expect Richmond to win the premiership anyway, but any hope they had, has that just been flickered out now?
I think so, TJ. Yeah. I think it's off the back of so many other players that are out too. You know, it's Dion Prestia, it's Nick Boston, it's Broad.
Their backline.
Just so, and then Martins, as Bill said, he was the difference in the grand final last year. So they play Geelong next week if the fixture sticks to what it is, and we'll find out a fair bit about them, really what they can do without the likes of Martin and so many other
They look
players.
so much better when Nankervis in the side as well.
Exactly.
And Cochin's sore too. So.
What about Jack Rywott? 300 games, 6 goals. He put on a performance that was just unbelievable the other night. Tom Lynch was a bit down, a bit flat, but this man in his 300, this is a superhuman effort.
Well, this is his record now, Brownies, along with his 706 goals in 300 games, 3 premierships, 3 Colemans, 2 best and fairest, and 3 All-Australians.
Yep.
So Kane, he's putting together a fair record, isn't he?
Yeah, just walk up Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. I think we've been spoilt with some of the key forwards currently playing. We've got Franklin, we got Kennedy, we got Hawkins, we got Rywott. So the last 10 years, we've been absolutely spoiled, and to stand up in a big game like that meant so much to the club was a credit to him.
All right, now just before we get to what caught my eye, because I know Billy is absolutely bursting at the seams. You've talked this one up, I tell you. You got a little bit of background on Leo, have you?
Leo Conley from Trafalgar, but played with Moe.
Oh, Gippsland.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to be a good player, Bill.
Yeah, right.
Is that it? You've spent 10 minutes researching
What
it.
pick did he go? It was a late
64, beautiful kick, and yeah, from Moe. So
Well done, Bill.
that's it.
Yeah,
Done a
good
bit
on
of
you, Bill.
homework. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's some real investigative journalism there. All right, well, not just an investigative journalist, but also a comedian, we're about to find out here. And what caught my eye? Kick us off, Billy.
Don't pump these up, Tony. No, this was interesting. This is a fanboy just with Alex Marcoux, the great Alex Marcoux. Have a look at this. A photo with the... What are you doing there, Tony? What are you doing there with the Carlton Premiership Cups? I want to know.
Well, Alex asked me for a photo.
He did not. Have a
He
look.
did.
Look at him. How'd I come up? He's got to have a look himself how the teeth are. Just make sure the teeth are okay.
I just wanted to make sure Alex looked all right there. No, that was a story we did for the news because it's the 40th anniversary of Carlton's 1981 premiership. And by the way, Carlton fans, go to the Carlton website. There are tickets still available for that function on July 30th. I'll tell you,
And Alex will tell that story about when he
Fabulous.
went to the... Fabulous.
it is the best football story ever.
It is. At the Prime Minister's house.
The Lodge, they call that.
Well, I think it's the Prime Minister.
Anyway, after the
You're
show
a Billy,
today, YouTube Alex Marcoux's story. It's a beauty.
on,
Anyway,
Kane.
but log on the Carlton website.
Bill, how hard is it to kick a goal after the siren? Like, it's not easy. It's not easy, is it? Like, it's really difficult. Talk us through it, because it's not easy.
That's 50 metres, bang, straight through the middle, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So to cope with that pressure, like it's an unbelievable thing to be able to do. So I want to go to the South Australian amateurs, where old mate Dopey. Dopey marks the ball. They're 3 points down after the siren. He kicks it into his nose. Have a look at 17, gives him a spray. Lockleys lose by 2 points.
No.
Old Dopey kicks
Did the
it
man
into
on
the
the mark
guys.
break his nose too, Kane?
Broken nose, Brownie. Heartbreak.
Oh, Kane, you've just absolutely embarrassed him on national television.
You can't do that.
Righto, Damo, I've been waiting for
Yeah,
this.
we know the footy season's a marathon, Bill.
You've had a big day.
It hits you up physically and emotionally and verbally at times too, TJ. And one of us on the desk really struggled on Friday night. Nathan Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't help, Nathan. You've got little teeth, but they got in the way even more than normal. What were you doing on Friday night?
Good, Damo.
Triple M Red Lead's ending stats. Ash is with us. That's to everybody helped us out. Put this to get out to the end of the odds. I'm going to finish off with that. Damien Harvick on the Triple M Harvick on the replay screen.
Oh, what?
Breakdown.
Come
What
on.
did that remind you of? And before you answer,
Yeah.
it reminded me of this.
That looks like Billy at a sporting. No, seriously.
Quite get it out the other night.
Well, sorry, were you ill
No. I was just a bit tired.
and emotional?
I had a really
Been
good week
drinking?
last week. I was fresh. I did this week occasionally, but it was just tired, you know. Sometimes you make mistakes. I'm sorry.
Did the program director call you at all? Or?
No, not at all. Not at all. They replayed it Saturday about 12 times. As we do.
Now, look, quite clearly it hasn't been a great week for you, because when someone says to me, you know, when you're talking about football, oh, brownie,
Yeah.
I think a brownie.
Well,
Yeah, well, clearly not, because if you're going to do a podcast
Disappointing.
titled this, the Brownies podcast, and you got Jonathan Brown, and you got Campbell Brown,
Nath?
and Dino, who's not even a Brown. Where's you? Where's you? They didn't
why
ask
are you
you.
on that?
No, I didn't get an invite for that.
Why?
What's your point?
Well, hello. A bit defensive. Well, my point is that you're obviously not up there in the Brownies of the AFL.
They got Dino. He's
Guess what they are,
Funny.
Tony? Brown less.
Oh, Brownless. Yeah, of course, yeah. No, but because you are put out by that, aren't you?
just falling flat.
No, it's not. No, the only thing flat was when you found out they had a
I
podcast.
don't have the time. No, I think Dino
Plus
will
you
be
can't
great
talk.
on that.
Dino is good. He's funny. And so is Campbell Brown, and so is Jonathan Brown. But unfortunately, Nathan Brown, don't call us, we'll
Now,
call you.
TJ, speaking of podcasts, there is a Melbourne podcast. A Melbourne podcast of two people who live in Mexico but love the Demons. And their guest this week to talk about all things Melbourne was this man, Kane Corn. So there's these two people that live in... And he took the time to sit in his car and do that podcast, Kane.
Nice of you, Kane.
That's one aspect of the podcast. But they all wanted to know all about things Melbourne, and they absolutely love Lever and May. So they ask a question about Lever and May and watch the areas that Kane goes to.
Obviously, Lever and May have been absolutely spectacular this year.
Chad was a bit the same. Chad started as a forward. Start of the year, they said, I'm going to push you back. He was nervous about it. He just played it like he was a forward. So Chad was a bit ahead of his time. My dad has been in media for a long time and still is. He's 75. He's in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. So he's a great player, but he was a brilliant media performer. I never say anything I don't believe.
So, Kane, how did you get it onto Chad and Graham? It's all about Melbourne. Come on, give them there.
Yeah, fair enough. Selective editing, I thought there. But check out the podcast. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like it.
Yeah, it would have been great. Okay, let's get into that. My kids,
Come on,
my
Dave.
girls, I got three of them, they love Barbie, and how excited was I when Barbie bought out a Naomi Osaka doll. Now, I rushed out to get this doll, but 12 million units got shifted in 3 minutes. It was sold out in 3 minutes, TJ. Can you believe that? Couldn't get anywhere around the world, but what you could get was the 2019 version with the accessories, the heavy trophy, the silly reporter asking the question. There's still 12 million units left, TJ. They had a second go at it. The first one didn't quite work out with the accessories and the Tony doll.
Nice, Tony.
I tell you what, I wish they'd bring out a Nathan doll. You'd have so many pins in it, it's not funny. Alrighty, we're going to take a break. This is the Sunday Footy Show. Tom Mitchell to join us right after this. Kane, apologise.
Sorry, Tom.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. What are you doing, Bill?
No, I just had to go to the toilet. Oh, it's been a big segment. I had a lot of water and I just couldn't. I was busting. Are we on?
Yeah, we are, as a matter of fact. Anyway, and now Damien Barrett, being a journalist, is always in need of good leaks, but just be careful on him over there. Now, of course, we spoke a little earlier on about the draw that was last night, and of course, this was in front of no fans whatsoever as we take a look at the scores, and they just couldn't be split, could they? Hawthorn 12-7 to Melbourne's 11-13. And Kane, we have a very, very special guest joining us, emanating from that particular clash, and I think it only fitting that you welcome him.
Oh, let's do that, TJ, because he was enormous. He had 39, 22 kicks, highest metres gained on the ground. He's Brownlow medalist Tom Mitchell. Tom, thanks so much for your time.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
I wanted to have a chat to you because last week I looked at your game and I thought some of you, or a lot of your disposals, were ineffective. And how you address your game and how you review your game, considering you're going to get 40 most games each week. How did you look at last week, and was that criticism too harsh?
Yeah, I think, as a player, you try and block out the criticism as much as you can. Obviously, it's always going to come, especially, when the team isn't going so well. So I sort of have some processes that I focus on every week that don't really waver. And, I think last night our midfield did a really good job, obviously coming up against one of the best midfields in the league, and Gorn, Petraka, Oliver, Viney, those types. So we had our work cut out for us, but I think the boys did a really good job.
Can I ask you about those processes with your game? Like, what are the KPIs that you look at? Because as I said, you're going to get plenty of it every week.
Yeah, my processes are not normally, anything to do with numbers or anything. It's more of things around like how quick my feet are moving, certain things around my reaction times either way. Obviously work around the contest, which is, something that has been probably a strength as well over my career. But they're probably the three main ones. If they're normally going well for me, it's normally a good thing for myself and the team.
Tom, you got off to a slow start as a side, but you finished really, really strongly. I want to go through the dying stages of the match last night, because you must be wrapped, though. You look at some of these names: Granger, Barras, Greaves, Reeves, Brockman, Jekka, Newcombe, and to perform that way against the top side after a disappointing week last week, you must have been ecstatic with that.
Yeah, it was a we had some more senior experience go out of the team with Blake Hardwick's been out a lot. DJ, make an argument that our starting back six are pretty much out of the team. So,
OK, well, look, we're just having a bit of trouble there with the Zoom connection there to Tom Mitchell. We'll re-establish that particular link, though. So, but what he was saying essentially was...
The young players are going really well, and they set up a game plan last night. The tackle pressure, 81 tackles. We don't see a lot of tackle pressure like that this year. There's been a lot of uncontested football, but I thought they brought their A game with tackle. That's probably the only way they're going to beat Melbourne last night, was the tackle pressure. Tom himself had 10 intercept possessions, the most on the ground last night, which is a great effort, Kane.
Yeah, and I thought his pressure, Brownie, so often we don't look at sort of pressure points and pressure ratings and what does it mean, but he had 91, which was about 30 more than the next best on the ground. So Melbourne were terrific. Lord, I want to get your thoughts just quickly on Melbourne. They have lost to Adelaide now, who are they're bottom of the ladder. Collingwood bottom 4. They lost to the Giants, not in the top 8, and they've drawn against Hawthorn, who was 17th. I mean, is it a mental issue that they do really struggle to get themselves up and motivate themselves for some games?
I think it has to be, Kane. For sure. I think it has to be mental, because they're so good against the top sides. But I want to talk to you, Tom. It's great that you're back with us. Luke Bruce. You've played with some great players over your time, but he's still doing amazing things after 3 premierships.
Yeah, Punk, he's been a special player for a long time, coming off the rookie list. To manage to do what he's been able to do has been pretty special, and you can pretty much rely on him to kick a few goals every week. And obviously, you mentioned pressure before. When his pressure's on, he normally flourishes as well. So, he was crucial last night. Obviously, kicked the goal to tie it up for us, and he's also helping out young Tyler Brockman, who's going to be a star of the future as well.
Tom, Billy Brownless and Damien Barrett were mentioning a little earlier about your coach, Alistair Clarkson, and the fact that he's just coaching so well at the moment in recent weeks in particular. Have you noticed a change in him at all since his future was clarified, at least with Hawthorn?
Oh, not in the way that he carries himself. I think the way that he lives his life, the values he carries, he sets the example for us players. He's such a great person and mentor, coach. You know, he's been so good to all of us, really. The only change I would say is post-bye, I think, just in the way that we've approached games in terms of our game style. So we changed some things in terms of how we wanted to defend more collectively as a team, and I think that's really helped us, you know, in the way we're playing the last probably 6 weeks.
Tom, sometimes people think you play a lone hand in that midfield. You've got Jager O'Meara. James Worpel came out, one of best and fairest. His form has been inconsistent this year. I thought last night was his best game this year. Where is he at and how good can he be?
Yeah, Worp's had a great game last night. I think, you know, obviously he won a best and fairest in his second year, so he's clearly got some talent there, and he's got the work ethic to go with it. So I think it's only natural for a young player to go through some ebbs and flows. You know, he's played some really good footy, and then probably had some games that, you know, he would probably say would be a little bit inconsistent, but that's only natural for a young player. He's a leader of our young group, and I think he's going to be a good player for the future.
Hey, Tommy, run us through this haircut, will you? Show us too, please. We want to have a good look at this haircut. Look at that. That was all for last night.
That's the Dusty.
At least you got hair, I suppose, Tommy, but it is red. Hey, tell us about ball magnets.
Yeah, ball magnets. It's a training app basically. So designed it with Paddy Cripps and Lachie Neale last year when COVID hit, and basically it's a bit of fun, but also we sort of teach our knowledge of the game to kids who are aspiring at whatever level they are, and it's basically to try and give back, really. So
good on you,
I think it's especially important to help the kids during lockdown. I know when I was a kid, I always wanted to train with the AFL players, so that's sort of the intention. And
you probably did.
The kids like it.
You probably did train with the AFL with the old man Banger, didn't you?
Yeah, Greg Williams.
Banger used to get me down to Carlton when I was a young fella, so I was a pretty lucky kid training with the likes of Cooter back in his heyday, so it was always good fun.
And Greg Williams, of course, still a very good mentor of yours. Now, speaking of good mates, have you got one of your best mates there with you, have you?
Oh.
I've got a few dogs rolling around here, but no, Macy. Yeah, just sitting in the backyard. They're floating around. They're good company because there's obviously not much you can do in lockdown. So
yeah, I can see them clamouring over you.
Yeah, they love you.
Oh, here we go. There. Oh, yeah. Look. How many you got?
TV time. I got two.
Oh,
there's
two dogs.
one around here. Sorry, there's my brother as well.
Oh, plenty.
Two dogs.
Why do you ask, Tony?
And Tom, you're best man on the ground last night. Congratulations. You get the 9 votes from me, and then obviously some dominant midfielders for the Melbourne as well. Petrarca, Oliver, Worpel could have been in there, but Luke Bruce, I loved what he does for the Hawks in the forward line as well.
We've got some prizes for you, Tommy. Don't worry about that. The Callaway Chrome Soft golf balls there, and the Odyssey Tour towel. You'll love that, my friend. Travis Matthew, 4 Travis Matthew caps. They'll keep a lid on it. The Aquila shoes and clothing been great sponsors of ours for a long, long time. Look at that. Oh, I like those white shoes. I might get some, Luca, after this. Bar Fridges from Bar Fridges Australia. They're the best in the business. They are magnificent. Couple of frothies in there for you, Tommy. The Ricks Eyewear, use the code word CHOMPERS at rickseyewear.com.au for a 20% discount. Platform 28, not open at the minute, unfortunately, but when it opens, it is magnificent. And look at this, the custom fire pit. It'll look good in the backyard there, mate, thanks to AMFX. That is magnificent, 100% Australian made. All for you, Thomas. Thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Nah, thanks, Bill. It's probably the last haircut I've got left in me, so I'll be looking like you pretty soon.
Because the feathers were going back a bit, weren't they? They were.
Good work, Tom. Thanks very much, mate. Tom Mitchell joining us there. And, of course, that match last night also, we should make mention, was the Pink Lady match.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, obviously, there would have, in normal circumstances, been a crowd there, but still an incredible effort, and this was to raise money and awareness for breast cancer. $245,000 was raised from the online component. So it would have been nice to have actually rounded that out to $250,000, but they did, because Rob Curtin, who lost his mum Pam to cancer, has chipped in that additional $5,000. And he is a high-flying real estate whiz down there on the peninsula, let me tell you. So,
Is he?
A real drop in the bay for Rob. But he's come up with the extra $5,000 and now $250,000, $250,000 raised. So well done to everyone, and let's see if they can actually not only raise more awareness, but certainly more research to cure this insidious disease. We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show.
Still to come on the Sunday Footy Show, Nate's quiz is up next as we celebrate the members of the prestigious 300 Club. Lloydie's Deep Dive looks back at some of the game's great ever families, plus all the analysis and highlights of a super Saturday of football. The latest COVID news in Damo's Sunday agenda, and Billy's List takes aim at some of the best and worst kick-out moments. You're watching the almighty, all-conquering Sunday Footy Show.
Welcome back into the Sunday Footy Show. It's time for everybody's favourite segment. Brownie's Quiz, brought to you by Sportsbet. $500 on the line. These guys play. Kane's obviously in Adelaide, so he's on delay, but he will play. Now, Bill, who are you playing for?
Jeff Harrison from Pioneer Bay.
Where is it? I'm just trying to have a look where it is.
I don't know.
While you work that out, I'm playing for Christian Janev from Lawler.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm playing for Shane Thomas from Rosebud in Victoria.
Okay, it's just on the way to
Nothing you do in the ad break, TJ?
Coronel. No, well, a lot of people...
Where is it, Tone?
Just on the way to Coronella.
Where's Coronel?
As if you're heading down to Phillip Island. I'm playing for Kayla Chappell from Narry Warren in Victoria, or as Billy called it once, Warren.
Volcano.
And Nadia Latte, Brownie, love the last name. She is in Parkside, which is a beautiful spot in SA.
That is. So $500 going to the winner. Test your buzzers, Bill.
Yeah.
I need to update that one.
Sounds like you.
You're a bad man, Damien.
You are, Damien.
We lost one, but we gained thousands.
Nice call here, Lordo.
You're extremely careful with money.
I wish he said tight. And Kane, what are you going with?
The volcano this morning. And what's the topic, Brownie? I think I'm an expert on this one.
300 gamers, Kane. This is everybody's favourite segment, and I'm your quizmaster. Let's go. Question number one. Not including Jack Rywott, 7 current AFL players have played 300 plus. Name 5
Volcano.
We lost one, but we
Volcano.
gained thousands.
Sean Burgoyne.
Yep.
Joel Selwood.
2.
We've got David Mundy.
3.
How many you need?
5. 2 more.
We've got...
Buzz
5.
Buzzy.
Nathan Jones.
3. 2. Yes. 1.
And... Betts.
Yes, Kane, I'm going to give you that.
Good. That's
it was
pretty
a delay,
good.
so we started 2 seconds behind. So I'm going to give him that one. Famous Faces question. Which 300 gamer flew in with the Premiership Cup on a zip line before the 2009?
Mark Prosciutto.
It was Damien. Let's have a look at the Roo coming in on the zip line.
Where's Roo?
Have a look at that.
I still don't know why that was done that day, too.
The flying Roo. The flying...
Kangaroo.
Looks like an SOG.
Ah.
Okay.
Look at him.
Famous
how would you go on that,
question,
Billy?
Damo. Here are some famous number 18s. Lordo and Kane's in there. The Duck, Kevin down there. We've got Paul Vanderhaar.
Kevin who, mate?
Kevin Neal.
Simon Beasley.
Bees.
Is it? Let's go with Vanderhaar.
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 In the middle. Bad luck, Damo.
Oh, sorry.
Bad start. Okay.
Beezer.
Which 300 gamer, question number 3, is soon to lose his all-time club games
Volcano.
record? Yes, Kane.
The Volcano.
Yes, it is Kane.
Oh, he name
You're flat
checks
about it
himself.
too, aren't you?
Who's going past?
Hey?
Who's going past?
Travis Boak. Question number 4. Which North Melbourne's 300 gamer's surname is the same word as a shallow, transparent bowl used to grow and culture bacteria?
Petrie.
Yes, Damien, the old Petri dish. That is a famous face. You should get that, being, Mr. Intelligent.
I was going to say Schimmelbusch.
Well, if Vanderhaar got me -2, I've got to go the Duck then this time.
Go the Duck.
Go on, Duck.
Oh, bad luck, Duck.
So I've answered 2 questions.
And you're minus.
And I'm -5.
Oh, thanks,
Tell us that story
Einstein.
again when you tried to fight the Duck that time.
Yeah.
You won at 1-on-1. You thought you'd really have a go at the Duck.
Damo's
that morning.
-5.
I tried to fight the Duck.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No,
He wanted to have a real good stern chat with you, and you said, "I'll have a
I'm
chat
not
with you."
-5.
Okay.
I don't think it's the time or the place to be. I've never tried to fight Wayne Carey.
You talked that up, and you got a bit scared.
Mate, I'm going to fight you in a minute. You're an idiot. Hey, Duck, please. Nothing but love. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Can you fix the score too? I'm not -5. I don't have said that. I've lost 5, but I've
Yes,
answered
you have
2.
answered
But I've
2,
answered
Damien,
so
so
I should
you're
be
-3.
Yeah.
So adjust that.
Happens every week, Brownie.
Which 300 game? I don't do the sums, Damo, okay? It's upstairs. -3 for Damo. Which 300-gamer famously channeled Clark Kent and dock workers in an effort to inspire his side in a pre-game speech in 2009?
Brett Kirk?
Incorrect.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Played for the Fremantle Dockers.
Volcano.
Volcano.
Pav.
Well, Pav's the only other one. Freo.
Okay, I'll give you that. Let's have a look at Pav.
Hey, put on your Superman coat. It's Wolfie time. Let's go.
Wolfie
Is it
time.
an obscure reference?
This is a stupid quiz.
Well, they're the Dockers. They're the Dockers. So
You test your buzzer over there. I haven't heard from you yet.
You're extremely
It's Wolfie.
careful
No, well,
with
you're
money.
trying to create trouble with Wayne Carey, and I don't know why.
Famous faces question. Which Geelong 300 gamer got stripped down to his undies in a game against
You're
Brisbane
extremely careful with money.
2007?
Rules out Sam Newman.
Yeah, exactly.
2007. I don't know.
Corey Enright.
He did. Let's have a look at it, Bill.
Yes. Have a look at his undies here. Oh, come on, Causa. Nice, Causa.
All right, famous faces question, Bill.
There's no negative.
Simon Beasley, what a star he was.
He was. 3 points.
Oh,
He would have got a couple of winners yesterday. Okay.
Would Kane lose it again from...
All right, Billy 4, -3. TJ is playing. If you've who are you playing for at home? Just apologise again.
Kayla Chappell from Narry
Sorry,
Warren.
Kayla. Question number 7.
Trevor.
When Sam Mitchell takes over as the Hawthorn coach, there will be 2 300-game senior coaches.
Volcano.
Yes, Volcano.
One is Adam Simpson.
That is correct, Kane. Well done. You didn't answer. There's just the other one.
He's done his research.
Who's the other one?
I reckon he's looked at this. Famous faces question.
Who was the other 300-game coach?
When Sam Mitchell becomes that.
Oh,
So
sorry.
the other one was Adam Simpson.
All right.
Robert Harvey is, but he's an interim. Okay. Which 300 gamer claims his career was cut short after a freak accident?
You're extremely careful
I
with
didn't.
money.
That fell.
-1, TJ.
Oh, I'll say Sam Newman.
When -2, where his Achilles was clipped by a golf cart.
Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Brad Johnson, 364 games, the smiling assassin. Let's have a look at how his
one
career
was
ended.
I don't think we're
You
supposed
shouldn't
to show
laugh,
that.
should you? But
No.
g'day to Jono out there. That was a famous face. Happy birthday, Jono. It's your birthday today.
How old?
I'll have to go Lordo himself.
Okay. 2 questions to go.
2 questions to go.
And it's
Right.
time.
I'm not out of this.
Kane. Okay. Name the 2 300 gamers with the surname Grant.
We lost one, but
Shannon and Chris.
Well done, Lordo. You get one back. Okay. Who am I for 5 points? I was born on the 23rd of May, 1968. For 4 points, I was a 2-time leading goal kicker at my football club.
We lost one, but we gained thousands.
No, go on. Jack Rywott.
Sumich.
-1, Lordo. -1, Damien. My son is featured quite often by Matthew Lloyd on the Sunday Footy Show.
You're
Volcano.
extremely
Stewie Lowe.
careful with money.
Stewie Lowe, 3 points to you, TJ, which brings you up to 1. But we have a tiebreaker. Billy and Kane. First one in. First one in. Now, he's on a delay, Bill.
And so am I, by the way.
Hang on,
gotta go through
you
this.
just said to Damo,
Oh, I did
help
not.
me.
I did.
How many
I didn't
goals
hear it, TJ.
did Jack Rywott kick?
Volcano.
Volcano got it.
No, I went first.
He
Volcano.
kicked 6 in his 300.
He did kick 6.
Oh, no.
I heard Volcano's name before you hit
I
that.
actually hit that, and then it took a second to play.
Kane, who was your home viewer?
My home viewer
get
was
stuffed.
Nadia Latte in Parkside.
Nadia
Makes up for-
Latte, $500
makes up for
coming
last
your
week.
way.
What about poor old Harrow?
/brownies quiz, everybody's favourite. Back to you, Chompers.
Good on you, Nadia Latte. You've caused a real stir here.
Poor old Harrow in Pioneer Bay thought he had 500.
Well, we can always go to the tape.
Let's go
and
to
see who got in
Go
first.
with the videotape.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it is the Port Adelaide coaching supremo, Ken Hinkley. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Don't forget, coming up a little later on, Lordo's Deep Dive. But right now, it is the clash of St Kilda and Port Adelaide. And as a result of this win by Port, they slip in very nicely, or at least consolidate for the moment their place in the top 4. So one Port champ to intro another.
As we spoke about, what a strong performance it was from Port Adelaide, and their coach Ken Hinkley joins us. Kenny, congratulations. Was it your best win of the year, considering the challenges that you had with injury during the week?
It was a really good win, Kane. Yeah, but we've had some really good wins this year. Obviously, you don't get to 4th without winning enough. But Yeah, it was a really strong win. The personnel, the boys did a great job to do what they needed to do for us. Travel, all the things that went into it. St Kilda in probably as good a form as anyone over the last 3 weeks. So it was a challenge for us, no doubt, and really pleased to get that win.
Now we are looking at the highlights now, Kenny. I just thought physically, as simple as it was, I thought you wanted it more than them. Now I know you won't talk down your opposition, but you must have been so pleased with the physical response and the pressure that you put on.
Yeah, I was Kane. I think the boys were outstanding, and that was the number one thing we needed to be sure that we were going to be at our absolute best at, because St Kilda's pressure at their best always worries teams, and I was really pleased with the way the boys just stuck the task and went hard after the body and got the ball our way.
Ken, over the past couple of years, we've all got to learn and embrace new phrases. The one this week was sterile corridor. You were in one yesterday in order to come into Melbourne and then leave to play this game against St Kilda. Do you know what's going to happen at this stage as it stands? Your team playing Collingwood on Friday night in Adelaide.
No, we have no idea. I mean, we often say it's a week-to-week phrase in footy, but it's a day-to-day phrase at the moment. And we don't know exactly what will happen. We expect that we'll be playing Collingwood based on what we were able to do yesterday and hopefully what we've done in the past here at Adelaide Oval. So we look forward to the chance to play Collingwood, but what time that will be, what day that will be, I've got no real clarity on that as yet.
Yeah, Chris Davies, your footy manager, was on SEN, I think, Damo, he was saying that it doesn't necessarily lend itself to a night game. So that would be unusual, wouldn't it, to have a Friday afternoon game potentially?
Yeah, it would be. If it was to be the case, they would replace the marquee slot with another game. But look, the latest on that is that the AFL is seeking, on Collingwood's behalf, special exemptions to get them in and out in that time slot, the night time slot, but yet to be guaranteed at this stage.
Ken, on your superstar midfielder, Ollie Wines, how has he evolved as a player? Like, we all know how well he's going, but how have you seen him improve over the past couple of years in his game?
Well, I think the number one thing that Ollie's got hold of now is that he knows exactly what he is and who he is. You know, every young player coming through, and Ollie was one of those players we put a lot of probably hype and pressure around, and he wanted to be absolutely everything to everyone. What he now knows really well is he absolutely knows what he brings to our footy club. He has done it unbelievably well every week this year. He's in great form. He knows how to play the game that suits Ollie best. He's hitting the scoreboard. He's doing all those things you want your best Mitch to be able to do, and he's playing 4 quarters flat out.
Is he a personality that could one day captain Port Adelaide?
He already has.
But in his own right?
Absolutely he could, yeah. I mean, I have great faith in Ollie, and, you know, Tom's captain today, and, you know, if you looked at it from afar, you'd be sitting there going, who's next? I think it's pretty clear that Ollie looks like he could be the absolute next standalone captain at Port Adelaide.
A young player is very impressive with Mitch Georgiades. 3 of your top 6 goal kickers are out, Ken, and you needed someone to stand up, and it was this young man, Mitch Georgiades. He kicked 4. He's only in his 2nd year, but 31 goals this year is a huge return for someone standing 6'3".
Yeah, it is, Brownie. I think he's been outstanding, and you know, he's a 20-year-old, and you know, I know we talk about rising stars and stuff. With the position Mitch plays, he's as good as any of the young tall forwards going at the moment. And don't forget, last year I think he played 7 games. The year before that, he didn't play any footy at all before we drafted him because he had a quad injury that was severe, and he's played very little football. There's so much upside to Mitch Georgiades. Obviously, we're pretty excited about what he can bring.
Very exciting indeed. I tell you, Charlie Dixon wasn't doing a lot, Kenneth, and at 3/4 time, you had a stern word to him. Have a look at this. You're laying down the law to Big Charlie, and he had a bit of a say back too.
Yeah, Charlie and I have good conversations lots of time, and the one thing about Charlie's a fierce competitor, and when he's competing, it doesn't matter whether it's the coach or anyone else. He needs to have his say, but in this case, I think I won the battle, but we'll probably follow up a little bit further as the week goes on. But Charlie's a fierce competitor. In that part of the game, we'd made a slight change to what we were doing, and Charlie says, I'm sick of playing 4-on-1. Do you mind if it make it 3-on-1? So it's probably a reasonable case he put forward.
Jeez, those masks can be handy sometimes for you, Ken, because we can't lip read.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic, TJ. I love them. You can get away with anything with the mask on, and unfortunately, they do get a bit hard to wear your glasses. And when you get old, if you try to put the mask on with the glasses, you've got nothing you can't see. It's fog. So
Tell me about it.
It's probably another good reason for the mask for the players.
I can attest to that fog bit too, Ken. Ryan Burton, his best is very, very good, isn't it? He was able to get out there and show that yesterday, but he's had a few nigglies over the journey, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He hasn't been perfect with his body, but his absolute best is outstanding. I mean, when we got him from Hawthorn, we're really excited about the player we were getting. I thought yesterday was close to the best game he's possibly played for us, I reckon.
Yep.
And he used his power really well. He's a really powerful athlete. He's trained differently this year in this pre-season. He hasn't missed a game, which is unusual for one of our players, but he hasn't missed a game. So let's hope that he continue to finish the season off strong.
And he was in the votes, Kenny. I just thought he was terrific. Part of that Chad Wingard deal with Xavier Dersma, Port Adelaide done well out of that. Ollie Wines again. Mackenzie did a great job on King, Ryan Burton. I thought Dougal Howard's job on Charlie Dixon deserves some recognition.
Now, Kane, didn't you ever go at the umpires and everyone for giving midfielders votes? Georgiades kicks 4 goals, was outstanding.
Spot on, Bill.
Come on, Kane.
Bill, I put Ryan Burton and Dougal Howard in my votes.
Where's Georgiades? So who would you have given them votes to, Kenneth, back there?
Oh, Bill, I would have went Georgiades.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Hey, Ken, before we let you go, go on.
No, I think Ollie Wines was a pretty special player.
Hey, Ken, one of the benefits of these Zoom conversations is we get a little bit of an insight into your house, and we like to look at the background of various people. And I think most people are sitting at home at the moment saying, what's written on that cushion behind Ken?
It'd be Macbeth or something, wouldn't it?
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
There you go.
Oh,
that's the first time you've read it, Kenneth.
No, it's not, Bill. I read it when I walked in this morning.
Hey, Ken, did you ever deliver that to Bill as a teammate of yours?
Be the change you wish to see in the world. No, I would have wasted a lot of energy.
He's come a long way, the boy from Camperdown.
Yeah.
Come in there and he played the twos and we go and watch him and he might be all right, this bloke. Never thought he'd be a coach. Never thought.
What did he say to his fellow defenders down the back line before the start of a game?
Poor old Tim McGrath. You look after my man, I'm going for a run. And he had 3 bounces.
I'll get 3 votes.
Poor old Tim Darcy and Tim McGrath.
Bill, he's still there.
No, he's gone.
No, he hasn't. He's still there listening to this.
Worst defender I've ever seen.
Hey, Ken, always nice to catch up with you, Ken, and all the best for the remainder of the season, however that might pan out.
Good on you, boys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Ken Hinckley joining us here, the coach of the Port Adelaide Football Club. The deep dive is next. What's your theme, Lordo?
Off the back of the passing of Serge Silvani, great football families we're going to look at.
You've put your own in there, have you?
No.
Please don't tell me the Corns. Are the Corns there?
They are part of it. but at their expense to get them involved.
We've got to go. We'll take a break. Back with what is sure to be a controversial deep dive right after this. Yes, it's Lordo's Sunday Deep Dive, brought to you from our mates there at Unique Wrought Iron, where, of course, thousands of Aussies go to make unique improvements to their home each and every day. And during this 5-day lockdown, we hope it's only 5 days, installation for free. So jump online and check them out, Lordo.
Good. Yeah, TJ, we're going to look off the back of the passing of Serge Silvani. We're going to look at great football families, families, sons, cousins, all those types of things. And we pass our best wishes and condolences to the Silvani family. But firstly, what a family they are, football family, the Silvanis. Let's take a look at some vision of Serge. Great to see the old vision of Serge wearing the number 1. He wore it 239 times for Carlton. Obviously, his son, Stephen Silvani, he played 312 games and he's obviously a football team of the century at fullback for the Carlton Football Club, Steve Silvani. Absolute superstar he was. And also his son, Jack. He can be maligned, Jack, at times, but he's worked really hard this year and been really important for the Blues. So,
and Ben also played for him,
and Ben, was on the list, but unfortunately didn't play a game. He's at Preston Bullants now, I think, plying his trade back there, Damo. So that is a great football family.
No, it is up there with the Kennedys when it comes to all-time great impact over the course of time.
And wasn't it great for us as football fans to actually see those battles between Sauce and Matthew Loy, like a great fullback and a great full forward, and when they came together, it was just magic, just as it was off the field as well.
Chemistry.
What's going on, mate? You're absolutely flogging me.
Little secret, Sauce. Bananas, mate. They're a great source of energy, can really improve your performance. Fantastic value.
So we'll also take a look at the lighter side of some of these people as well. So that was Sauce and I doing a Lamana banana.
And your similarities to Tom Cruise, as you keep telling us, and which is only Lordo, not your acting. The Ablett clan obviously needs referencing in this conversation, and If there's been a more exciting player than that bloke there, Bill, I don't know.
No,
You played your entire career with him, basically, and he could still do things back then that no one's been able to do, and pretty much did it every single week. His brother Jeff was a superstar in his own right, wasn't he? Kevin was also a very good athlete, and then the clan continued, didn't it? When both Gary and then Nathan Jr. joined the fray, and Gary winning Brownlow medals at 2 different clubs. Nathan, incredibly.
Premiership.
Nathan kicking 3 goals in that 2007 flag.
Unreal.
The Cornses, we love Kane. He's our boy Kane, and they played 919 games between them. Studley and the SANFL, 364 games. Have a look at him go in the black and white.
This is Graham.
He was a high-flying Graham Corns, and he was one of the best. And then you got Chad, who played 255 games. Geez, he was tough, Chad. He was tough as they come. Big-looking, strapping young man. Yeah. He was just everything about Chad just oozed confidence. And then
this weasel. Who's that weasel?
It was just in his own right, a very, very good player, Kane Corns. And I can guarantee you that midfielders,
look at this.
When Kane came to them, their day got a lot harder, and he was a fantastic player.
He was. Didn't kick a lot of goals, but he kicked this goal, his first goal ever. And I'll tell you what, that's probably not.
This is Graham.
Well,
That's Dad. That's Graham. That's Graham.
Where they
here.
This is where they started throwing the birds at other players. So they've given you the wrong clip there, Bill.
That's all right.
Oh, come on.
Move ahead.
The bird, Kane.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Kane? Oh, they're not happy with you, Kane.
Hey, still go.
Being an absolute idiot.
You're right, Bill.
Well done, Bill. You drove that segment well, mate.
No, you're unlucky, Bill.
For me,
Wrong edits.
it is the Revolts, and we saw Jack play game number 300. What about his cousin Nick? So one of the most admired players, purely for his work rate and just, I mean, what a superstar he was. Used to watch him before games. He used to run about 5Ks in the warm-up to get himself going. And then there's Jack, who did that this year and has had many highlights, but 1,424 goals between the two cousins and a whole heap of games. So 636 games between them.
Brilliant players, the cousins.
I'm not taking anything away from the Revolts, but like the Shores, surely. Now, we haven't got time to go through it all.
I moved on from them because I wanted this vision plate of Nick Rywott.
He hates this, Nico. Come on, Nicholas. The boys aren't too excited. Have a look at him. Oh, Nicholas. Oh, have a look at him in the background.
Now, the Danaher brothers, it was amazing. One day, Sheed said, I want all the 4 Danaher brothers to play on the one side, and he did that. Sheeds was special in terms of those milestones. But here's Terry. Terry, 313 games, one of the greats of all time. This is
Neilo.
Yeah, Neilo was crippled with injury, but he played 82 games. Then you've got Anthony Danaher, the father of Joe Danaher. He was a good fullback for the Bombers. And then Chrissy Danaher, he was a great teammate of mine, one of the ultimate team players as well. A premiership player in 1993 for the Bombers.
It was at Moorabbin where all 4 played, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That's right. Yeah.
Nath, the Selwood brothers.
Are you with us today or what?
The Selwood brothers, unbelievable. Out of Bendigo too. I think they're the best players out of Bendigo, and there's no better than Joel. 326 games, still going strong, Joel Selwood. Absolute superstar. Every club would want him to be the captain. Stop looking at me like that, TJ. And then they had Adam played 187. Scott played 169, and Troy played 75. 757 games between them. What a family. And all of them put their head over the football. All of them as hard as you needed to be, and all leaders in their own right.
What are you thinking, like, when you're just sort of like away with the Pixies? Like,
I was thinking about the highlights of Windy Hill. I was thinking how good the Windy Hill highlights were, and I didn't think it was my go. Now I look at the rundown, and it says
I think he's scared to talk these days, too.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, because he is struggling. Yeah, you ever seen the movie The Club? And the star recruit's just standing on the ground, like, looking at the seagulls. That's you. That's you.
Achilles. What was that, Achilles? Was that Achilles?
No, I don't think so.
Anyway,
TJ, I reckon this says everything you need to know about the Selwood. So this is them playing against each other. This is Adam and Joel, the other ones there as well. So they're just they don't care who it is, even if it's their brother. That's how competitive they are, and he didn't do too well there, did he, Adam? But maybe the most competitive football family we've ever seen.
No doubt about that. We all love Joel. Great player, great captain. Love him. But no more acting, Joel. No more.
Hey, we're looking to go on an end-of-season brocation. Can you help us?
Sure thing. Step this way. When it comes to travel options, Canada.
Hey.
Germany.
With a dog.
At Geelong Travel, we go the extra mile.
Come on,
TJ, I wanted to finish with that because
it makes paid a fair bit to do that, wouldn't you?
It makes my Lamana ad look very good after that. That's why.
No, Lordo, yours is the worst.
That is so bad it makes Nathan look good today. All right, we're going to take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Who knows what to expect next? Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Just getting some details through from the Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews. 16 new cases in Victoria, and the next 48 hours, according to Daniel Andrews, critical as to whether the lockdown will end as it is supposed to on Tuesday night, I think that is. So anyway, we'll update that a little further on with Damo. Right now, though, let's turn our attention back to the football.
Western Bulldogs got the job done by 11 points, as you can see there by the Gold Coast Suns. Bontempelli was good. Smith racked them up. McRae, 31, and kicked a couple of goals. Took Miller, what about his season? He is flying at the moment, but I thought the Gold Coast Suns were really good. The Dogs started well, but what's been troubling the Dogs in the last few weeks, not the big forwards, but the smaller, medium-sized players. So Sexton kicked 3 yesterday, Holman kicked a couple of weeks ago, Zurha kicked 4, and then last week, Dawson and also Florent got on the scoreboard at Hayward. So it hasn't been the big guys worrying them, and that's where people thought that maybe Keith and these guys might fall down. It's been the mid-range players. 10 marks inside 50 the Gold Coast Suns took yesterday. They matched them in contested footy, which the Dogs are so very, very good at. But this man, Bailey Dale, was he good? You always knew that the Dogs just had that gear at the end to get the job done. You thought they might come hard late, the Gold Coast Suns, and they did. 18-10 inside 50s. And the Western Bulldogs had to defend with their life late, and just their class in the end got them over the line. Hagan was good, obviously kicked a couple of goals. This is a beautiful one. Have a look at the height and the bend back on that bill. But the Bulldogs, next 5 weeks, they've got Adelaide next week, which they should win. Then they've got the Demons, which is a massive game, Essendon, Hawthorn and Port. So you'd think that they would be finishing top 2, Kane.
You mentioned Bailey Dale there, Brownie. Maybe one of the most improved players in the comp, and in terms of selecting the All-Australian team, he's got to be right in the mix across half-back. 30 disposals, 20 kicks, 742 metres gained, and he's deadly. So I reckon the opposition start putting some more time into him. I know there's a number of issues when you play against the Dogs with the amount of star talent they've got, but have a look at this. Not too many players in the comp are in as good a form as him across half-back. So he's starting to get the recognition he deserves for a fine season.
Well, he's in the All-Australian equation, I think, at the moment, Kane. I've got him in the votes. I had Bontempelli best man on the ground. Smith and Miller, I think, were even second, and Bailey Dale could sneak in there for a vote.
Why don't we still have the All-Australian team? What happened to that? Is that gone with the greatest team of all time, has it? But one segment that isn't going anywhere is this one. It is Billy's List.
Thank you, Tony. And kick-outs are very, very important in our great game. And we got the worst kick-out ever, of course, happened last week. Liam Stockott. Come on, Liam. Not sure what happened there. That is a shocker. Zach Tui couldn't believe it. Went back and kicked a nice goal. Look at that. That is shocking. The grippo got hold of the footy. That's shocking kick, Liam. And also, it's important to have a good kicker-outer. And have a look at this, Daniel Rich down the middle. How good is that? Away they go. That is magnificent from Daniel Rich. So, the top 5 kick-outs moments.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah.
Number 5, look at this, 24 seconds to go, 28. BJ plays on. Good smother by the Pat, don't worry about that. And look at the score there, Essendon by 5. There's 23 seconds to go. Quick kick there. And Gary Rowan, steps up, goes back, kicks the goals. Sydney wins, so well done there. BJ probably just would like to have his time again there.
Probably took it out on a bowl of lollies.
Pretzels. Port Adelaide and the Suns here. Have a look at this one here. Jasper Pitter. What are you doing, Jasper? Come on, Jasper. Fair dinkum, he stuffs it up. And the Suns score a goal here. I think that's young Russell scoring a goal around the corner. Well done to him, but come on, Jasper. You're better than that. What about this? How you do it? Bucks. Straight down the middle, Bucks. Straight down the middle. What a lovely kick. Williams gets on the end of it. didn't even have a bounce and kicks the goal. This is how you kick it from full back. 2 kicks, goal. How good was that? Well done, Collingwood there. Love that. Speaking of Collingwood, Braden Maynard. He'd want his time again here. Oh, no, Braden. What are you going to do, buddy? Oh, kick it to your side. Oh, come on, Braden. And,
that's in danger.
No, that's Lindsay Toll. And he lets him know. Good on you, mate. Just kick that. Well done, Braden. But don't you hate that? And this one here, I love this one. Big Benny Graham down at Kardinia Park. Goes the talk. Look at that. There's a bit of wind behind him. It goes a long, long way. I wish he didn't mark that. It would have bounced and bounced and bounced, would have gone through. And Ben measured it. How long was it, Ben? 85.4 metres. 85.4 metres, Tony. Well done there. And we have a big day today, isn't it?
Yes,
one of our cameramen, Dave, who's actually just nod the telly, Dave. There we go. It's 40 years he has been at Channel 9.
Well done, Dave.
Great effort, my friend. You want to say a few words?
Yeah, I'd like to say thanks very much, Tony, for being such a great friend and host over the years.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
That's don't say that normally.
Who was the only one who rang you and bought you something?
You.
Thank you.
And did he buy you a bottle of wine but then put it
Hang on, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
He put it in an outer container of a box of Grange and then put a cheap wine in there.
No.
Is that true, Dave?
No,
Is that true?
he didn't, no.
The guy in the shop must have put it in the bottle of Grange.
You put it in a box of Grange.
Didn't the guy in the shop?
Holes everywhere in this story.
Yes.
Anyway, 40 years is magnificent, Dave.
Thanks, Tony.
I'd say you're not only a good cameraman, even more important, you're a better bloke. So it's great to have you on board. All right, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Dave, just get front.
Did you say better bloke?
He's a good bloke.
On the Sunday Footy Show, it's time for TJ's.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. I tell you what, it's going to be the talking point for a lot of the week, isn't it? Are you prepared to write off Richmond for this year's flag? I think a lot of people would be, but you wouldn't put your house on it, would you?
No, you wouldn't, but Dustin Martin out makes it very hard. Let's have a look at what they did the other night. Brisbane led at half-time, kicked the first goal after half-time. Jack Rywott, as we've spoken about at length at the top of the program, kicked 6 goals. But I thought this was a really good game of football. It was open, it was free-flowing, it was high-scoring, and you tend to get high-scoring matches in Queensland at Metricon or the Gabba. Jack Graham was outstanding. And you thought at half-time, Richmond jumped out of the blocks and did a really good job, as they have in previous weeks as well. But then slowly but surely, Brisbane started to get their running game going in the second term, and you thought at half-time Brisbane were going to run all over the top of them. They kicked the first goal, as you see right there in the third term, and the game's opened up. It's a 13-point margin, and then the Tigers got their running game going. And I just think the Lions just dropped off that little bit. They didn't work as hard as what Richmond players did.
The Tigers, Brownie, also went back to that manic, just move the ball forward at all stages, didn't it?
They did, and they started their forward half with more pressure in their forward half this week. Bolton was good. Rioli at half-back, I thought, was a pretty good move. Had a fair bit of the football. This man we'll speak about in a minute. Martin
massive wins, wasn't it? Kane Lambert and Toby Nankervis made a huge difference.
Unbelievable. And also Jack Graham and being able to run through that midfield. But Nankervis allowed Chol to go forward and be able to be a very good player. But the Tigers are fantastic.
You just mentioned Chol. He kicked 4 goals, and I thought he was out of his depth as a ruckman. Brodie Grundy schooled him the week before in the ruck, and with Nankervis back, he comes back to a role that suits him. He's a number 3 forward, so Rywott number 1, or Lynch 1 and 2, Chol comes 3. And he's kicked 4 goals, so a massive bonus. He's out of contract, so good thing that he's done. He's got a way.
What happens there?
Well, you'd stay. I think the other ring has got Coleman Jones there, who I know has done some few little things too. So,
but Rivold's got next season, obviously. But beyond that, we don't know. Wouldn't you want to keep him?
Yeah, you would if you're Richmond, but it depends what he could get elsewhere.
He's got a really good football brain, Marby, I think. When he goes forward, he does some things that you go, gee, he understands the game really well. Let's have a look at the votes from the other night, and Jack Rywott was the best man on the ground. Nankervis just gave them everything they needed, Chol. So the 2 ruckmen were in the votes, and I thought Hugh McCluggage was probably Brisbane's best player.
And, mate, full votes to you. I mean, after the disaster that was Triple M Friday night, I think you're back. I think your confidence is back.
Well, I heard the time capsule's on today. TJ's time capsule.
Well, I did hear that. No, apparently the official thing was...
So a couple of years ago, we brought 3 new segments to the Sunday Footy Show. Brownie's Quiz, Lordo's Deep Dive, And TJ's time capsule. There's only 2 that are still here.
Every show is a time capsule, my friend. Anyway, Billy, now this might have knocked off the time capsule, this segment, because it's so popular. A lot of kids doing homeschooling at the moment. So, kiddies, Uncle Bill's got another interesting little fun fact for you.
Here we go. And this one's about dogs, and we all love dogs. Man's best friend, of course. Have a look at this good dog. He helps... look, the owner's parking. Come back a bit more, bit more, bit more. Hang on, bit more. Stop! How good is that? Helping the owner park his car at the supermarket. Well done. Do you know dogs' noses are like fingerprints? No 2 are the same. So no 2 noses are the same.
But they've only got one nose.
I know, but your next door neighbour's dog hasn't got the same nose as your dog.
How does that make you feel that overtook TJ's time capsule?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I'd much rather see that than football or something around,
He was a good
to
boy.
be honest. Is that the only fact you've got?
25 million dogs in Australia.
What's that?
25 million dogs in Australia.
Okay.
Didn't you like my fact I gave you, Bill?
What was that one? It was about an elephant.
Yeah, elephants are the only animal that can't jump. Every other animal can jump except an elephant.
Well,
You're encroaching on his space now, Lordo.
Yeah, but
Plus, we're talking dogs.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Bring an elephant into it.
Can giraffes jump?
They must be able to, because I read that fact that it's only elephants.
Giraffes can jump.
If an elephant's coming up behind.
If anyone's got an elephant out there and it's jumping, playing hopscotch or something, send it in.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. When we come back, more of Lordo and the wonderful world that is Africa. Welcome back, Lordo. I'm just getting inundated here. It is true that adult elephants can't jump, but there are other mammals that can't either, like sloths, hippos and rhinos.
Oh, Lordo.
Although, unlike elephants, hippos and rhinos can have all 4 feet off the ground at the same time when they run.
Come on, Lordo.
No, I'm still backing in my man who gave me that statistic. So
who was it?
What's it? I won't say. I won't say.
Well, it's not David Attenborough, that's for sure.
How about a sloth?
No, I saw a great one. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll show you anyway. Hey, Damien Barrett's here with his gender, and of course we need to straighten up a little bit because it is very serious, the AFL situation at the minute.
You were saying 16 cases overnight, TJ, from a Victorian perspective, added to the already long list of COVID-affected people in the state. Just from an AFL perspective, 4 matches today to complete round 18, and then 45 matches thereafter, Lordo, to complete the 2021 home and away season. The AFL's taking the view these days now, and as a result of what happened in Victoria over the past 5 days with lockdown, that just get the matches played. It will look different to how the fixturing is. Round 20 and round 19, there'll be some matches swapped, just a straight swap. One of those matches we believe will be the Gold Coast Brisbane Lions clash, initially scheduled for round 20. That could be brought to round 19. That will have impact on opponents for those 2 teams from round 19, but that's the way they're going to play from here.
Could we see the grand final date move, Damo, at all by not having the bye?
Look, it's a possibility, Lotto. They're just keen to get these final home and away matches out of the way. It is full steam ahead. The talk over the weekend, over the past couple of days actually, about the possibility of resetting and bringing that bye from round 23 afterwards to this week. Not happening. It's just play the matches while they can and take the view that they just don't know what happens tomorrow, so play them while you can. And in terms of that, the grand final at this stage will be played at the MCG, and as we said in the first segment, TJ, the official line on that is no conversation to be had for some time, if at all, about moving that venue. That's the official line, and no one will be deviating off that.
And do you reckon even if it's at 50% capacity, that's not good enough for the AFL?
I don't think it is, no. Based on last year's logic about wanting to get crowds into the game, this year's logic and this year's ideology behind what now lies ahead is different, I know, but 50% of 100,000 is obviously not as many as at least 2 other stadiums could
Do you
show.
reckon there's any clubs behind the scenes questioning where their games are being played, or that's stopped now? You know, for example, an Essendon side who had 3 games at Marvel against the Giants, North and Sydney, all going to be played interstate. Any of that going on, you think?
No, not as much as would have historically. And again, just on that aspect, Alicia Muelling told us before that most of those Melbourne-based teams traditionally are now leaving the Gold Coast region to come back and play as per fixturing when it comes to their venues for those games.
All right, let's talk about Richmond and the growing injury list.
Obviously, look, we did just touched this on the early parts of the program, but Dustin Martin is now out for the year after this massive hit with Mitch Robinson, and that's bravery on both fronts, isn't it there, Brownie? The way they both went at that footy, and Lachie Neale's also in that frame as well. But he's out for the year, still in a Gold Coast hospital. There's no known time as to when he'll come back to Melbourne and how it looks, but the one known out of it is that he won't be playing again in 2021. And given the Tigers got a much-needed win, the doubt is now what can they do without him. And that was the damage out of the Friday night game against the Lions. Asprey and McIntosh also finished the game on the sidelines. You've got Lambert obviously returning to the team, and there's other injuries out of that game, and some of those names on that list have already been banged up prior to this point of the year. You've got Dion Prestia yet to come back, and the back line with Bolter and Hooley, Lordo and Broad. It's a toll that just may become insurmountable now that Dusty's out.
When you're up against Geelong and the Western Bulldogs and those teams who haven't got a lot of injuries, it's tough. It's going to be tough from here. They'll be doing well to make the finals.
All right, and we'll know soon enough, that's for sure. Good on you, Damo. We'll take a break. When we come back, your kitty cats, Billy, we're going to talk about them.
Well, let's take a look at Thursday night's game because Geelong just continue on. Every year they are up and amongst the best teams in the competition. You can write them off, you can speak about their age, but they continually surprise us. This was an absolute decimation of a Fremantle side who had been progressing nicely and got a rare opportunity to play on the national stage of Thursday night footy on their home deck in front of their fans, and they served this up. So I'm not sure the score does it justice for just how good Geelong were, but also how poor Fremantle were. Their turnovers, they had 60 of them. They conceded a massive score off turnover. And Geelong took 28 marks inside 50, which is a season high for any team, and the biggest differential was 28-2 since the year 2000. So mistakes like that we saw time and time again from the Dockers. The Cats without, of course, Cameron and Rowan in their forward line. Just thought their skill and their ball use, particularly going inside 50, they continually chose the right option and didn't lace out the forwards, but just put it advantage side, which is exactly where you want the forwards. And
do you think they're the best side in it, Kane?
I think them Bulldogs and Melbourne, to me, have clearly separated themselves. Yes, Melbourne had a bit of a blip, but I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. Who knows where games are going to be played, but get some players back, Bill. You'd be pretty comfortable with where the team's at?
Yeah, indeed. I thought it was a professional win. They went over there. It was a pretty quick turnaround, flew to Perth, got the points, come home. So well done there. And this man here, Tomahawk, it's a 10th straight season. He's kicked 40 or more goals. He gives away a lot, we know that, but I thought he was good. This was all before half-time. He kicked 3, I think, before half-time, and just kicking well. And that one there, that's just bad defence there.
Just on Alex Pearce, he's normally handles himself really well, but he was out of his depth just from a size perspective up against Tom Hawkins, who I don't know where he'll sit at the end of his career, Bill, in terms of Geelong champions, but he'll have to be right up there in the history of the Geelong Footy Club. What he's done.
And his goal assists and all. What he's done has been fantastic. The votes here, we gave them to Menengola was outstanding, Dangerfield, Guthrie. Luke Dalhouse, best game. He had 24 pressure acts.
Nice.
And also 8 tackles. And I thought Dalhouse, Close and Myers were pretty good. The small forwards kept the ball in. They worked really hard, Tone.
Good work, Kane. Good work, Bill. Good work, everyone. We'll take a break. You know, you were talking about sloths and you said they're really cute.
They are.
I found a cute one for you.
Well, I didn't think they were cute. I thought they were slothy.
I thought you... No, I'm pretty sure you like them.
Because I'm like one.
Anyway, we'll find out after the break. And, of course, a few other matches to round off this particular weekend of footy. We'll do that right after this. What are you doing?
Final
No, what are you doing?
Nothing.
What were you doing with that?
I'm just having some pies at the back.
Yeah.
We brought in some pies.
Yeah, you were going to squirt me, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
You're a stupid little man.
That is silly. That is
why
silly.
would you even do that?
Why would I do that on
Well, you
live
were sitting
TV?
under the table like that, you know, and I thought...
I was putting it down there because you just had some pies.
Hey, boys, we're on.
OK. Hey, well, I want to tell you about this. In fact, more specifically, Kane does, making it easy now with the Mosh match winners, Kane.
Yeah, let's do that, TJ, because these players are making it look easy. These couple had a massive game in round 17.
Who's the one on the left?
So look at that. On the left, 38,
Frosty.
12 contested at 9 score involvements versus a superstar on the right. As we reveal who they are,
Who are
ones
they?
that are making it look at easy. There it is, Bill. Jaden Stevenson on Monday night against the Eagles. There's his numbers.
Yep.
And Zach Merritt does it most weeks. That was his numbers against the Crows on Friday. Of course, these two players go up against each other today.
Well, let's talk about that match.
Well, I think the Bombers have got so much to play for, TJ, and I think they're so dynamic. I think they'll won't win by a lot because the North have improved, but they should win.
Cunnington.
Oh, yeah.
That helps the Bombers.
Yeah, probably the most important player to them.
Yep.
And a lot riding on the Collingwood-Carlton game for the two coaches, the interim capacity of Robert Harvey, also David Teague with the review at Carlton. And also, TJ, Brett Rosebery will be umpiring match number 450 for that game.
That's a big effort. That's a huge effort.
Only Shane McInerney and Hayden Kennedy have got umpires more matches than him.
Who wins that?
Paddy Cripps out, so
Collingwood
gave him a rest.
Collingwood win.
What a pity there's no crowd there. I mean, because, they would have got a decent crowd. For Brett Rosebery, of course, would have no doubt got a standing ovation and just 3 cheers all round as he ran out there for his 450th game as an umpire. Not.
Adelaide take on West Coast.
West Coast just have to win this one, Bill. They have to win this game.
Kane, what do you think?
I think they will. Both teams need to respond from just such a poor game last week. But West Coast, too many stars in their team.
All right, the Giants and the Sydney Swans. The derby that was to have been played in Ballarat.
Yeah. I think Sydney are in too good a form. The Giants, I just can't get a read on them at the moment. They lose to Hawthorn. They come back and beat the Demons, and I'm just not sure where to go. So you have to go with the safety. I think Sydney win this game.
Yeah.
All right. Now, that just about wraps it up for this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. But, of course, Lordo, probably the highlight of the show, telling us that elephant's the only animal that can't jump.
No, that's right.
That's now up for debate. And, Billy, you were saying that you've got a little bit of a fascination with sloths.
Yeah, they're a strange animal, and I always thought, I didn't like them, but you've found something.
Oh, absolutely. How could you not like this sloth? Look at him. He's in the boat and he's just having the time of his life there. Just probably the first time he's been in a boat and just dangling his paw out there.
Dangling his paw.
We're losing our way.
We're losing our way.
Bill, where have you seen sloths?
What? Say it properly.
Sloths.
I've seen them everywhere. 30. No, I've seen them on those documentaries.
On a Friday, Saturday night or something?
Yeah, no, I've seen down at the bar. When I've had a couple, I turn into a sloth. Don't worry about that.
Oh, I think it's time to go. All right, okay. Whatever you're doing, Kane.
Well done, Dave.
Sorry you have to be a party of this, Kane. Hopefully you're back next week, yeah?
He's not a sloth.
Let's hope so.
Okay, good work. Kane Corns there, just adjusting his cufflinks. We'll wrap it up for now and we'll see you next Sunday.